Okay, we're recording here. First of all, and can I ask you, because you're going to be sentenced in less than 2 weeks, have you given thought about what you're going to say during sentencing?
So, not really, like, this. I don't think there's anything I can say to that lady that it can make any, it will ease the pain. It's like, nothing. I don't know, like, I haven't thought of, I thought about it, but it's just hard, like, what can you say to somebody that lost her whole family? It's not much you can say.
Do you feel at all responsible for anything that's happened?
I feel responsible as far as, like, picking up my friend, having, being a gang member when I was at my teenager years. I feel responsible for trying to change some of my friends' like points of views and the way they see the world and the way they say things. I feel responsible for coming to the city that day and wanting to visit my friend in Oakland. So, yes.
You were coming to visit your friend at the San Francisco General Hospital, was that it?
No, I came to the city to pick up someone to go to the hospital in Oakland. Yeah.
Oh, because that's...
The guy was in the hospital in Oakland.
Oh, but I understand you were, when this whole thing happened, it was actually a situation where you had made a wrong turn and you were heading to the hospital?
Oh yeah, no, because I was going to turn the other way to get the freeway, I don't know that area too well because I never lived there. And for example, to get there, right, I know this is afterwards. My lawyer was telling me that if you get off, because I get off at Cesar Chavez, but if you get off, I think a next exit, you can get to his house faster. But I didn't know how you get the freeway there. So I get off at Cesar Chavez. So when I was going there, I was gonna get the other way, turning, the way, turn on the other way, I don't know how to explain it. But then when I crossed the street, my friend, the guy I was with, he said, oh, what the fuck, you supposed to turn that way because he live in the area, so I guess that's like a shortcut, shortcut for people that live there. So then, but when he was telling me this, I was already passing because it was only like 1, 2. I turned on the 3rd street, but those streets are kind of small. It's not like city blocks; they're pretty long. So, so I turned on the second street. Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
I drove. Well, I went there. So he pretty much was guiding me, right? Cause I'm familiar with Silver. I'm familiar with Michigan, and I'm familiar with the what they call Excelsior, which is Silver and up. But I wasn't familiar with that, them little streets right there. I wasn't familiar with. So anyway, so he was telling me what to do. So he told me to turn in the next street, or a few streets over, within some time, and then I was turning, and that's what happened.
But you think you could have prevented when it happened? Because I understand your role was this just as the driver.
Yeah, I could if I know it was gonna happen. I could definitely stop it if I knew it was gonna happen.
But what happened? It just sort of happened without you being able to react to it.
You want to tell me the whole thing? Oh, okay. So I got to the stop. It's on water.
Let me see it.
Can you stop it?
Sure.
Sorry. It's nice and meteor here, so maybe we'll get some water for Edwin.
Let me see. Okay. Go. Okay, we're going.
So then, so when I got to the stop, right, and then I was gonna turn left. I kind of, I was young, I was 71, so sometimes you drive kind of reckless.
Yeah.
So I got to stop and do another quick stop, but kind of fast. And then I turned, but then because it wasn't a car coming up, so the street was empty. So we come.
I'll just start over again. Sorry about that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry. It's cozy. Okay.
So then when I turned, I turned to my street, those streets are kind of like narrow. So my car was pretty much using the whole space, right? Not the whole space, but like the way I turned, like a car couldn't come up, like you know what I mean. So the other car was coming out. So because I was changing the CD at the same time, I wasn't changing the CD, but I was messing with the with my radio, right? So when I see him, I was like, oh shit! So I braked really fast, right? So then so we were in like the car was kind of like this, like you know what I mean, like kind of front, like half of my side was on his side, like kind of like that, like he couldn't go, I couldn't go, like kind of like that. So then so it was sometime like that. So I looked back, but the view wasn't like a great view. I couldn't really see, like, cause the way I was set up, I couldn't see the cars coming like this way, because that was pretty much like already kind of coming down. But like I couldn't see the cars coming like this way, like you know what I mean. So, anyways, like when I was trying to turn back, like looking to the mirror and turning back, the guy started backing away. But in the midst of this, my friend said like chapels, right? So then like I started looking like what I didn't know what he was talking about because I was kind of confused. So I remember like looking outside, like kind of like trying to see what he was talking about. And then I see his face. He was looking at the car. And then in the car, I only saw two people in the car. Like, when you drive, you see two people really fast, but like nothing clicked on my head because one of the guys is like hella old, like, so like it wasn't like it wasn't nothing like in my head, like I didn't die anything. So then like within some time when the guy was backing away, so that's when I started turning, and then like somewhere in the middle, that's when we started shooting.
I mean, what happened? I think he reached over you, or?
Well, I don't, because everything happened so fast, I don't know like what his position is, because like 1,000 people have asked me the same thing. So like I don't know like where his position was exactly, but I know he leaned over me, and I know like after the first shot, everything went blank. How you call it when something like something really loud, like explode, right? Like my hearing just left, that I couldn't hear anything, like everything stopped, and it started moving like really, really slow.
Did you fire the gun in front of right next to your head, or what? How did you do it?
I don't know exactly where the gun was, but I know it was somewhere in front of me. But I know like everything after the first shot was fired, like everything went like slow, like everything like you know how like I don't know how to explain it to you, but like everything started moving like super, super slow, and like I couldn't hear anything, like everything was silent.
So you didn't hear other shots, or?
No, I heard one, like boom, and then it went.
But he was in the passenger seat, correct?
Yeah, next to me, yeah.
And so the shots were out the driver's side door, so in other words, he had to...
That's what I'm saying, no, he leaned over me, I don't know what like his exact position was.
But he leaned over and so in other words, the bullet kind of went in front of your face, right, to get outside, or how did that work?
I don't know. I was telling you, I don't know where his hands was. Right? I remember him like leaning over me, like I know that. Right? But after the first shot, like I don't remember exactly what happened. Like everything would start moving like really, really slow, and like everything, like I couldn't hear anything.
And do you remember what happened right after that? Like, do you know that somebody had been shot?
No, I remember stopping at some time. I remember like hitting the brake, like within the. Like when I got conscious of myself, I remember my feet being slammed on the brake. I remember I couldn't hear anything. I remember the sun hitting my window. I remember like everything was silent, like there's no noise, like everything was like really quiet. Then like all of a sudden like I kept seeing his hand move, right? Like somewhere in my eyes, like I could see a hand moving like down here, like. So then I remember looking at the hand, and then that's when I started hearing again, and he was saying like dale, 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 which means like go, go, go. So then I started driving down the street. And by the way, I didn't find out, like you asked me, right, do you know who people were shot? I didn't know that people were shot into Tuesday, like 2 days later. That's when I found out that 2 people were shot.
And right afterwards, you say to Mr. Reyes, his name, right? Did you say to him, what did you do?
Actually, Wilfredo, that's his last name. Wilfredo, that's his last name. Reyes.
Reyes.
Yeah.
Did you say to him, did you ask him about why he did it, or what did you say? What was the conversation like after that?
I remember like saying, I remember the first things I remember saying, like, what the fuck, like, what'd you do that for, like, and then I remember saying, like, throw the gun out, because I was scared, and then, like, just that, like, I was, like, keep saying that, because I was scared, so I was telling him to throw the gun out, like, what you do that shit for, like, things like that. That's the conversation that's what I was saying, driving down the street and going into, like, the fast, you get into like a way, like it's not a freeway, but you can drive there like really fast. Then I get off on Alemany, and then Alemany and make like a U-turn, and then I made like a right. I don't know, like, because I wasn't really paying attention much, so the outside of the car, like, I mean, I was driving right, but I don't remember like where I was going. Like my mind wasn't focused on where I was driving, but I remember being at Alemany and then go like when I turned on Alemany, make like a U-turn and then start coming back. I remember he got off on one of the first streets, and then because he said that I was like a state of shock and I was like really upset, so he told me, like, just go home, like go to your home, like that. So then I remember like driving out that street, but he got off on Alemany.
Yeah, was that last time you saw him?
No, last time I saw him was I think it was like Tuesday. Yeah.
That was obviously just before you were arrested.
That was the day I got arrested, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what were you thinking during this time? I mean, were you trying to hide, or what were you doing at this time?
No, I wasn't trying to hide. Like, I didn't know people were shot. I didn't find out anyone was shot until Tuesday morning when I went to work. I was just like upset like about the whole situation, like, 'cause it wasn't like, you know what I mean, like it wasn't like a pleasant thing to be like. Like if you've never been in that situation, like it's like what the fuck, like.
What went through your mind when you heard that 3 people were killed?
I didn't find out that 3 people was killed until I was in the interview with the police. That's when they told me. But 2 people have died. I learned that in the papers.
So you learned in the papers on Tuesday that 2 people had died. It was
Yeah.
Tuesday after, and then I guess it was later the 3rd person died.
I found out that until later, like until I was already in custody.
But when you heard that a couple of people were killed, what did you think?
I said, oh shit, like I got even more scared, like, and then, cause it's fucked up, like some people have died, and then like it wasn't, at first on my mind it's like shooting, right, it's a shooting, some people got, like it's just a shooting, like nothing beyond that, right, but then when I found out that 2 people was shot, like 2 people was killed, like this is like a different ballgame, like it's just like I was even like scared, I felt bad for them, like it's, people have died, so.
Did somebody tell you about the news, or did you actually see it in the newspaper, or what happened?
No, I went to work, and then somebody was talking about the Chrysler 300, and then like they would kind of tease me. They said, oh yeah, well, you saw it on the news or something. So then like, cause most of the people on my job know me, right? Like who I am, the person, like who I really am, not what obviously know what the media have published. So they wouldn't that I would be involved in anything like this. So what happened, there was just teasing me, thinking, it's just like, oh yeah, he have a car, but it was nothing like there. So then when they start saying that, like I start wondering what they're talking about. So I went to the front, like because I was looking on the back, so I went to the front, and then this guy had the newspaper in the front office, right? So I went there and then I started reading it, and I pretty much just glanced to it. It said things like mistake, like it says things like road rage or something.
Yeah.
I think that was the quote. Yeah.
And then how soon after that? It was hours after that you were arrested?
I was arrested hours after. I was arrested. I went to work at like a 9. I read that thing like at 9, 10 in the morning, I think. I don't know the specific time. And I was arrested like at 11:30 at night.
Were you expecting to be arrested?
No. Well, I didn't want to run because I don't know, like like my mind, like I wasn't thinking straight, like I wasn't thinking, like I was thinking, but it's just like too much, like I don't know what to do, like, yeah.
Had you ever thought of calling the police?
I did, but I thought they wouldn't believe me. Like everything I thought before, like it would be like what really happened. So it was like even if I would have done it, it wouldn't make a difference.
And now, have you thought about calling Mr. Reyes during any of this time?
No, the police know where he is, so why would I call him?
Well, just to tell him, look, we hear that a couple of people have been killed, and
Oh, you're talking about after I found out, or
yeah, after you found out that these people were killed.
No, I didn't tell him anything because he kept calling me and telling me. This is before I got arrested. Like he was telling me like, "Oh, it's gonna be alright. Stop being mad." Because he knows I was really pissed off. So most of the times I wasn't like he called me, but most of the times I wouldn't really talk to him. So then it wasn't into that night and at nighttime, right? That before the police got there, like he called me and because I wasn't changing my like demeanor, like I was still like really upset. And he knows I was still really like emotional and upset about the whole situation. And the Tuesday when I found out that people have died, like I was even worse. Like I was even more upset. I was more emotional. I was even more like, like I was really more upset at him for him because he did it, right? So anyway, I guess he saw the thing on the news or something. So he called me and told me to shave your head. He told me not to comment into anyone. Like what will happen. And then he said, what happened to your family, right? So when he said that, like I was like, what? Like I got even like more upset, so I went off on him because he was telling me like pretty much threatening me and my family because he told me like, what happens to your family if we can get to you.
This was on Tuesday.
This was on Tuesday before the police got there.
But then when you were arrested, the police talked to you and you told them that Mr. Reyes had actually done the shooting?
Well, I denied it for like 12 hours.
Okay.
And then after 12 hours, yeah, the interview was like 17 hours. Yeah, like after like hell alone, I told him, yeah.
And then, but then they couldn't. Did you tell them how they could find him and all that? And
I told him where he works. See, when I told him what happened, when I told him like the truth, obviously they didn't believe me. But anyways, like they were interrogating me since like 12, like since like they for like 12 hours for hell alone. So I got 3, like I kind of broke. So then that's when they were telling me. That's when I told them like I wouldn't tell them where he lives, but I told them where he works. So then I told him the van he drives, which is this huge van with hella stickers. Like you can spot it from a mile away. Like it's not like I don't know, like a Crown Vic that is easy blend in or something. So yeah, I told them where they can get him, but they didn't want to look for him. They went to look for him like 2 days later. But it wasn't until a Friday, right? Friday night. Yeah.
why do you think one of the surviving son, why do you think he identified you as the shooter?
I think he saw me. I think he saw the gun. But at the same time, I strongly believe that the lead inspector is kind of like it's kind of dirty. So I don't know if he kind of pointed him out because if you see the lineup, I'm the only one that don't have no hair on my chin. I'm the only one with like the thick. You gotta look at the lineup yourself. So that says a lot. And then I think if he did see me, he probably saw me and saw the gun and just kind of put it together. Because that's what because during my trial they have this expert that talks about how the eyewitness will see things and it makes sense. Like they say, you see one thing, then you see another, and since you're still shocked, you kind of combine them together. So I think that's what happened.
But wasn't there somebody else that also testified that you were the shooter, like an acquaintance or something?
No,
okay.
Nobody.
Okay.
He, like everyone else, the only guy that says that I was the shooter was him, the surviving victim. There was also the only person I could have testified that I didn't shoot anybody, and what happened that day will be Marvin Medina, which is
that's what I was thinking about.
Which is he's like the DA like witness or something.
Yeah.
He was testifying for the DA, but the courts have this law that only the DA can use some type of the statement against penal interest. I don't know how it works, but anyways, the point is that I have told this guy what happened. Like the other person Reyes have told him what happened, but the judge wouldn't let that statement come in because it wasn't a statement against myself. Only the DA could use it. So, but since the DA was objecting, we couldn't ask him what I said to him or what the other person said to him. But then it seems like it was like double standard because when the other guy, when the DA wanted to ask this other girl the same question about Reyes saying that he was with somebody and the other person did the shooting, then the DA could ask him like, did Reyes said this to this other girl? So it's like really messed up.
Yeah, you talked about some of the publicity in this case. As you know, a lot of news was made about this case, made national news because of the city's sanctuary law.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to that? I mean, I'm sure you've been following all the news accounts about you being you've been kind of the poster child for people who are against the city's sanctuary law, and you resulted in some changes. Your case resulted in some changes in the sanctuary law. What is your reaction to all that?
Well, it seems like the Chronicle is lie or something, right? And everybody gets filled down behind like dummies. That's my opinion. Because all they gotta do, why they can't just ask like, don't they have like a freedom of press that you can ask or things about somebody? Like, look, right? I came with a visa, with a 10-year visa in 2000. I came on December 13. Like 13 and 14, like in the middle, like at 12. So it's kind of like in between. So now for 10 years, so that means from 2000 to 2010, right? So we were renewing it, like I think it's every month, so every 6 months or every year, I don't know how long. Anyways, after a few years being in here, my mom got me a work permit. So I have a work permit all the way to 2005. But what happened when I was in the ranch, when I have two juvenile cases, right? So when I was in the ranch, they wouldn't let me go renew it because you gotta go there, personally, right? So I couldn't go renew it, so I couldn't renew my work permit, right? But the work permit expired all the way to 2005, so that's why I was able to still get my driver's license when I was already 18. So I was able to get my driver's license because my papers didn't expire until like later. But since you gotta redo it within some time, like I wasn't able to renew it because I was on the ranch. So I then became like illegal alien after that. And even after that, my visa didn't expire in 2010. I just overstayed my visa.
So at the time both times when you were arrested as a juvenile, you were legal, as you said. And there wasn't an issue of anything expiring or anything not being kept up to date.
No, not at the time. No, when I was a juvenile.
Okay.
It was the case afterwards because I was in the ranch, so I couldn't renew it. But what it is, I have two different. Well, what it is, okay, I'm gonna tell you. When my dad fixed, when I was like 11 or 12, I met my dad. So he put my birth certificate with his name, like kind of like an adoption, but it's not really an adoption because he's really my father. So anyway, so I did my name changed to his last name, right? But then when I came to the United States, like my mom in the school, my mom just put her last name, right? So I only use my father's last name would have anything to do with like my papers or anything like that.
So that was where the confusion lied because your visa was under your father's last name?
Yeah.
And so they thought, in other words, there was reports that you were an illegal immigrant because Edwin Ramos technically was illegal because he had no papers, but you were actually using another name.
Yeah, with different last name.
Last name.
But it's so crazy because even the people in juvenile, they want to check my social security came out valid. So how, that's what I'm saying, it seems like the Chronicle probably something everybody fell back like dummies, like ooh, just right behind it. Like it seems like nobody checked. And me, I didn't care about it. Like it's nothing, it was out of my power. Like the whole time I was thinking in my cell, in jail, like, what the fuck, why these people just don't try to do some type of research? Like it seems like they took that article and everybody just believed on what whoever wrote the article just believed on what that person said, which is crazy, right? You would think that everyone, the whole country is following something that one person probably published and it was obviously is wrong, right? But it's crazy how everybody is full behind it, and nobody will ever even check. Like,
So you're saying the city did check your immigration status? They check your social security?
I know juvenile have, because we have a letter, not a letter, but like I have some things on that my lawyer have shown me that juvenile, I think the healthcare for the juvenile system have checked my social security, and then say that my social security came out like valid, like a real social security number. So how can I be the illegal alien? And then like when they came to arrested me, like the first picture they published was my driver license in the papers. So how can it be the illegal alien with a real driver license?
Did you ever think about saying something during all this? Because you had been reading the articles and all this news. Had you ever thought about saying, "Hey, what are you talking about? I wasn't legal all this time"?
Well, my lawyer said that, but Robert Amparan, he said it, but it seems like nobody even paid attention.
But then afterwards, in 2008, when you were arrested, you were an adult, correct?
I was 21.
21. When you were arrested in 2008, at that time,
I overstayed my visa, yeah.
Yeah, but at that time, it's my understanding the city did tell ICE, but ICE didn't do anything? Is that how it worked?
The last time I got arrested?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Like, I think they did report me to ICE, but ICE didn't pick it up. But the funny part is that up to 2010, my visa was still valid. My visa expired in 2010. So, because I got the letter, my lawyers can give them to you if you want.
Yeah.
So my visa didn't expire till 2010, and I was married to a United States citizen, so that automatically made me like a permanent resident. Yeah, but I was trying to fix it. Like, before I got arrested, I was trying to fix that, right? But then within that time frame, I got arrested because I have just hired a lawyer to deal with that, because I have lost the original papers. So I hired a lawyer to get the papers from immigration, but immigration takes hella long for them to send you stuff. So anyway, so automatically if I have them papers, automatically I become permanent resident, right? But since I have lost them, and I didn't really, I wasn't really like anxious to get it fixed, so I just take my time. But I got arrested within that time frame.
But the visa had extended to 2010.
Yeah.
But at 2008, when you were arrested, you hadn't been.
I overstayed my visa.
You overstayed the visa.
Yeah.
But the visa was 2 more years, right?
2 more years, 2010.
Okay, but 2008 you were arrested.
2008.
2001.
The first time because I got arrested 2008. The first time I got arrested for like I think it was like a day or two, something like that. How long it takes to do DNA tests on me, I don't know how long it took. So they cleared me, so they let me go. That time they did report me to ICE, but ICE didn't put the hold on me.
But that was the time when you were found in a car with a gun in it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they reported it to ICE because the visa was, it had, you're saying, I'm not clear, it hadn't expired because it was good into 2010?
2010, but I have overstayed it. But one thing about ICE, that's the good thing about the feds. Like, the feds, like, they are, I don't want to say more advanced because I don't want to insult anyone. But one thing about the feds, they know your whole history. Like, you know what I mean? They don't just follow anyone.
I guess I don't understand because the visa was good to 2010, but you were arrested 2 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But you had overstayed because you hadn't done like the proper things to keep it up to date. Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then but anyway, it was reported twice. So I didn't realize you were arrested twice. There was one incident when your gun was found in your car.
It wasn't found in my car. It was found like
somebody's car you were. And then you were arrested after that.
I was arrested after for this.
Oh, for this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got
no, like I didn't get arrested for anything else. But this and yeah.
And I think
the gun wasn't found in my car. It was found somewhere else. But yeah.
And you know the article in the Chronicle mentioned that the police had several contacts with you over the time. You know.
That's the most shocking stuff. The Chronicle said I have a long criminal history, right? Look at my record. I have 2 juvenile petitions that were sustained. So, and one time we beat up somebody in the bus, which is bad, right? Beating somebody in the bus is bad, obviously it's bad. I admit to it, it's bad. The second time, they probably, well, I got this other thing about this pregnant girl, grabbing this pregnant girl, and then if you really dig into that case, right? Me and my auntie was renting like a studio, or like kind of like a studio apartment for the people, right? For the people that the victims for that case, right? So they kicked my auntie out because because of me, because I was a gang member. I was coming all days and times. I was bringing people over, so I wasn't happy about it. So they kicked my auntie out. So I was upset because I felt like my auntie was paying for something I did. So I was mad at them. So I saw them. They were in the car. So they got stuck in traffic. So I went up to them and punched the guy up a few times. The brother, which by the way, I was like 16, he was like 20, 30 years old, like he was hella old. At the time, for me at the time, he was hella old because I was only a 16-year-old, right? So I punched him. So then, anyways, the traffic cleared, like, you know what I mean? So they left, right? So then they say that I'm trying to rob them or whatever. Like, you can read the report, like it wouldn't make sense. Like, I have money on my pocket. Like, I have no money, so I don't try to rob this person. And then they say they didn't know me when they did know me. So, but anyway, so at the time, what happened was my fault, because at the time I have like, I believe, like, you don't tell the police anything. You don't tell your lawyers anything, because I didn't trust them. So I didn't tell my lawyer, oh, by the way, I know these people, I lived with these people before. Like, I didn't tell them anything. So it was pretty much my fault, because I didn't help my lawyers. I didn't tell my lawyers I know these people, and I didn't tell my lawyers what happened. So that case is pretty much myself, but that's the only two cases I have. So I have this like long criminal history.
Yeah. Now, getting back to the trial itself, were you surprised by the verdict?
To tell the truth, realistically, I was shocked that they found me guilty, right? I was, but at the same time, like, how can I get a fair trial with that lady crying every day? Like, it's hard. Like, even if I'm putting in one of the jury's position, right? Just say I was a jury, right? A juror, and I'm sitting there seeing this lady cry every single day. Like, I would definitely vote guilty just to give this lady some closure, right? Then at the same time, like, you can bring two predicates. Predicates is something means like a crime that the gang commit for the benefit or whatever they call it, right? So he brought 13 of them, like 13 of them, right? Like 1, 3, and then on top of that, he brought like in every single one of them was like murders, stabbings, and like some bloody nasty stuff. Then on top of that, he brought murders that happened, like I think one of them even happened after I was arrested. And then he brought like murders that were not predicates, but he get to bring them in because I have the guy, like on my phone list, I have one of the guys that pled guilty to a murder, right? So he even brought to bring that in. He brought to bring like pictures of hella dead bodies, people stabbed all over the place. Like, I got to have a guy with like, they got stabbed from the ear like all the way to his mouth, like the whole thing. It's just nasty, like. And then he said, oh, he associates with these people, he hang out with these people. So it's just like it's more like a fear factor. Like, it's just bad, like all the way around. Like, how can you get a fair trial with that? And then on top of that, the media like puts you as this huge monster. So
Yeah, I wasn't there for the verdict, but I understand you cried when you heard it.
Sometimes I can control my emotion. I laugh a lot, I smile a lot, right? It means I'm nervous. Sometimes my emotions like overwhelm me, and yeah, I cry.
What do you think about, do you think you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison?
I think I'm not. I think that any appeal judge or appeal lawyer or anyone that works on my appeal would see that what they did to me is fucked up all the way around. Like, I didn't get a fair trial, and even a blind person will see that.
So you're optimistic then that you'll be exonerated on an appeal, that you'll be found not guilty on appeal?
I'm more than optimistic. All you gotta do is look at my case and all the things they did. Like, that judge is biased like hell. So, and it seems like everything he let in, it was just to convict me, and like everything was to convict me, and he was like he wouldn't like. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. Right, we lost every single motion we did, like literally every single one. Like, and how can that be? Like, and there were good motions. Like you can read them yourself. Like we have points. Like, and how can the judges said like he was just like completely biased. I even tried to like get rid of him, but he didn't. He said he didn't. He didn't want. I guess we couldn't get rid of him. He even said like before the trial started, right? This is before the trial when we were working on pre-trial motions. He said, "You murdered 3 innocent people, right?" And then my lawyer said allegedly, right? So then he said allegedly, and then because my lawyer was trying to do a motion to get rid of him because he made that statement. But when we went back and looked at the record, it was like cleaned up. Like it says, like he says, like 2 times. Like he says, you allegedly murdered 3 people, but it was actually my lawyer that said allegedly, not him. But it's just that just tells like it's just messed up what they did to me, and it's fucked up. Like how can people go to sleep every day of their life knowing that like you have an innocent man behind bars? Like how can you live with yourself like that?
What would you say your odds are? I mean, the odds are of you being found, being exonerated on appeal.
Pardon me?
What would you say? What would you give your odds at as far as being found not guilty on appeal?
Like statistically?
Yeah. What would you say? I mean, you're very optimistic. You're saying.
I'm more than
Yeah.
like I told you. I think even a blind person would see that what they did to me is fucked up. Like I know what they publish in the paper, like all this bad stuff, right? Like my juvenile stuff, right? He brought it, he disseminated to the press, right, without permission of the court, like a juvenile court, right? Which that's a misdemeanor, right? And so Hello People side, and then the judge, so because of that, that's a misdemeanor, and he couldn't bring it in, but the judge still let my juvenile cases come in, and it's like more than I don't know, it's just crazy what they did to me.
Yeah, you talked about seeing Mrs. Bologna crying in court
every day.
Yeah. Now,
Of the trial.
do you plan on addressing her directly? Do you plan on saying anything to her at sentencing?
I am.
Can you give me some idea? If she maybe be watching this video on the internet, or can you give me some idea what you plan to say to her?
I don't know, like what is. It's hard. Like I can think of a million things to say as a condolence, but at the same time, like I can say a million things. The world can say a million things. Everybody can say things to her, but how what can you say to her? Like her life is shattered. Like her whole life, like her husband like died, her 2 kids died. Like it's just like I don't know. Like I cry just thinking about that in myself. I don't know. It's just like it's too much emotions for me to say. Like to tell you right now, like what I'm gonna say.
Do you have mixed emotions? Do you also feel angry towards her because she believes that you were the shooter?
Oh, absolutely not. Like when my lawyer was doing the surviving victim, I told my lawyer like don't really attack him. I feel really bad for him. Like he loves his whole family. Like I think that lady have all the rights in the world to be upset. He got all the rights in the world to be mad. But at the same time, I feel like the police ain't really telling her like what really is happening, like behind the scenes. Like I guess they just telling her. I don't know what they're telling her, but she got all the rights in the world to be mad. Like even if say she came, if she could have walked out with me and hit me, I would even understand that. Like I understand like her anger. Like anyone that lose any loved one will be just as upset as she is. So I'm not mad at her. I'm not at all. Like I understand. Like
now, if there have been reports that Mr. Reyes is following this case in the internet, etc. If he was to see this video, what would you say to him? If he's watching this video, what would you say to him?
Nothing. I got nothing to say to him.
But you want him to obviously come forward and say that and admit what he did?
You think he's going to?
No.
So I waste my time. Yeah. the police know where he at. They just don't want to get him. It's like as the trial ends, we find out that he don't even have an arrest warrant. So it seems like they ain't looking for him. So he ain't hiding that much because they know where he at.
Are you concerned for your own safety?
Definitely.
Why?
Why? Why not?
Yeah. But I mean, because you came forward and you know, said another person did this, are you concerned that because friends of Mr. Reyes are going to come after you?
Yeah.
But you've been, are you pleased about your sort of a protective, I don't know what you call it, protective custody here?
No, they have me on the shoe, like with the dad people. They don't have me in protected custody. They have me on, like what they call the shoe segregation housing unit, which is like they just put people there for punishment. So yeah, I'm been trying to get out of there, but they haven't let me. So they haven't put me in protected custody the whole time. They have me on this like 23-hour lockdown. You only walk for 1 hour. You only use the phone for like 1 hour in the daytime, 30 minutes at nighttime. You can only come out by yourself. You can only go to the gym by yourself. So it's like really messed up.
Now, what's life been like for you? Have you been keeping in contact with your daughter and your wife while you've been here?
I definitely like. It's like I keep in contact with my family, like friends, people you meet like that. Yeah. So I've been blessed in some sense, and then so I have people, I have support. Yeah.
And your daughter, was she like 5 or?
My daughter's going to be 5.
Okay. Have you been able to talk to her about this?
I told her I was in jail. For the first time, last month. She's telling everyone, "Oh, Papa's in jail. I'm sad." So she said that to a lot of people. This is the only hardest part for me. Like I can deal with anything. It's not for I think I'm a strong person. I'm a strong mind. Like you know what I mean. I'm able to deal with most things, but that's the only thing I cannot. I don't think I'm gonna ever be able to deal with it as good as I would like to.
What about your mother? I know during trial you had some kind of harsh things to say about her.
I love my mom.
Yeah.
It's just like when growing up, we have issues, we have differences. I ended up in gangs because I was a runaway because of things that were happening at home.
Yeah, going forward, what do you plan to do? How are you spending your time in jail now, and what do you plan to do until the time of appeal? Have you given
I'm writing a lot, like to a lot of people. Like I told you, I met new people, so I'm writing a lot. It seems like there's a lot of people, like a lot of good people. So now I'm also planning on writing a book. Because at this time I think that there's so much I think I can give, out to people. Because it seems like whenever you read whenever you see a police officer talking about gangs, like they always have this huge bias, right, to that side. So most of the times you get information by a biased source. Most of the time, the police officer get an informant, the informant getting some type of deal, like they get money, they get leniency. So a lot of times when they give information to police officers, they give information because they're getting something out of it. So they telling the officers what they want to hear, but keeping stuff out, like you know what I mean, and saying this stuff but no this stuff, because this stuff would be damaging to me, but this stuff will be damaging to other people. So they kind of pick and choose, you know what I mean. So I think I can do a good job on doing that. I think I could also write a book about the trial itself of my life, and
And this would be aimed at preventing somebody from being in your position.
And because look, most of the times most of the times I would tell people, like most of my friends, like the reason why I was having problems, like we haven't talked about this, right? But the reason why I was having problems on 20th Street, and I actually got jumped out in I think it was the middle of 2006. Was because I was taking people to church. I was doing gang evasion, meaning I was telling people to stop being a gang member, trying to pursue them to do something else. But the reason why they were really upset at me was because like most of the new recruits, I was taking them to church and to other things, like to do other things besides being a gang member. So at first I wasn't tripping because the number was really small. So they still get recruits. So but then when every number started going different ways, right? Then they got really pissed off. So then they were also mad at me because one of my friends, they were trying to do something to a guy I know. His name is Franco Manuel, and they say he was a snitch. He was my friend. I know him, by his real name before he was even a gang member. So, anyways, so I end up nobody was supposed to tell him that there wasn't trust in him. There was things going on behind the scene, about him being a snitch. So I end up, because he was my friend and I was trying to protect him, I told him, look, they saying this stuff about you, like, what's going on? So then he panicked. So then he went to tell everyone that I told him that what they were saying about him. So they were really mad about that. And, a lot of things. So most of the gang leaders have never been too happy about me.
So at the time when you were arrested, the most recent time you were arrested, you were no longer in a gang?
No, when I got arrested now. I was still keep contact with them.
Yeah. But you were still, I think you talking about you were still selling drugs and doing
I was selling drugs to Northerners too. It didn't make a difference. But yeah, like a lot of the, cause I had left, I wasn't talking to them for that long. But then when I started selling drugs again, then I kind of got pulled back to the scene.
It's been, aside from the city sanctuary law, there's been some talk. A lot of people have said that San Francisco has a reputation for being more lenient on crime, and that there's some people, commuter criminals, they come into San Francisco to commit crimes because they feel like it's going to be a little easier to commit crimes here. Mm-hmm. Do you think that may have influenced anything that you did? Because you're from the East Bay, but you came here.
No, I grew up in the city. I was living to the city. I was only living in East Bay for 3 months before this happened, but the whole time before that I was living in San Francisco. If you say something like a lot of commuters. Well,
I've heard that people sometimes come from the East Bay or other parts to San Francisco to commit crimes because they think that they won't be treated as harshly here as they would be maybe in the East Bay or other counties. Is that?
Well, I can tell you that most people, I don't think most people that commit crimes are thinking, I might get arrested. I'm going to go to San Francisco, I should commit a crime there. I don't think that would be the case. But at the same time, think about how San Francisco police deal with things. Think about it, right? I told them who killed these people, right? I told that to them in 2008. Before the media have heard it, before all this stuff came out. So they have that information in 2008. Now in 2009, they find out where Wilfredo was, where he was leaving. I think it was in May, right? 2009. So think about it, right? If things like that are happening, and I know they're happening, they're happening because of my case, and you can go see when I said what I said and everything that's happening on my case. So that things are happening. So now you think about it, right? So if they're so lazy that they don't want to get them, I don't know if it's laziness or what is. Because after this day, I'm still trying to figure it out. My lawyers are trying to figure it out. All the people I know are trying to figure it out why they don't want to arrest them. But think about it, if stuff like that are happening and the police in San Francisco are dealing with them like that, what if, say, another case is a harder case or a case with a different circumstances, the guy don't have anything to worry about it.
I want to ask you too, again, about the sanctuary law. What do you think about the cities that have sanctuary laws? Do you think that people, I understand that you were, when you were arrested as a juvenile, you were legal and you had your papers, but do you think that people who are here illegally should be sent back to their country if they commit crimes in this country?
I don't want to say I have those standards, but my point of view, honestly, is that I don't think juveniles should be sent back. I'm strongly against that because I think how how can you deprive them from the mom or their father? Because obviously the mom is living here, obviously the father's living here. So if you send them back, like that's like heartless. That's like I don't know. Like I don't know how it works for people to think like that. But however, I think if you're like 18, 19, when you are able to rationalize more, like, and you commit crimes, and yeah, I think it will be something different. However, for a juvenile, I think it's something that it shouldn't be done.
Well, when you were arrested in 2008, when you were 21.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah. Do you think you should have been sent back to El Salvador?
Should I? I don't want to go back, but if they send me back, I don't think I have much of a choice.
But do you think a law that do you think if you had been sent back in 2008, do you think somebody in your position should have been sent back to their home country if they're committing crimes as an adult?
I think it's a messed up question, but
yeah.
I would like to, but if that's I think, like I said, I think people would have different. I'm definitely against like the raids they doing, and they taking just regular ordinary citizen, like not citizen but regular people, and they deported them because they haven't committed a crime. That's different. But like a crime is like, but juvenile I think should be excluded.
Okay. Anything else you want people to know about you, or things that weren't brought up, or things that I didn't ask you about?
It's your world, I just live on it.
Do I?
It's your world, I just live on it. It's your world.
He just lives in it.
Yeah. But there was such a big. I think, were you aware that how big a national story this was with the sanctuary city status?
And it's crazy. Like that's what I tell you. Like it seems like the Chronicle did a article, and it seems like everybody's fell back like dummies. Like wow, like. The whole time I was sitting on myself, right, like thinking, like, wow, this is really going on, like, because I heard like this Republican guy, which I don't really care about. I love politics, but I don't want to talk about all the Democrats, right? Anyways, this Republican, super conservative from I think was down south, was having this meeting. I think it was Sacramento, right? And he was saying that I shot these people with an AK-47. And this illegal immigrant and all that. I'm like, damn, like, if this guy is running for office, right, and his whole campaign is based on lies, I just can't imagine what kind of people will vote for him. Like, really? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like, people are using the pain of this girl, right? I don't want to call her a girl, this woman, like the Miss Valonia, right? For the politic purpose. Like, that's crazy. You using the pain of this lady to use me as a poster boy for you to for your political purposes. That's crazy. Like that's just using somebody's pain to get what you want. That's crazy.
But you understand too how people feel that they say, look, there's enough honest people that come from this country, that come from other countries. If somebody's here and committing crimes, send them back. Do you understand?
No, I understand. Like I'm not saying like you put me in a bad position because you're talking about myself. So then I'm like, right. But like realistically, that would be more understandable. Like I could probably live with something like that happening. Like it's different from taking a 16, 15, 14-year-old from her mother and sending him back where a place where his mom or father doesn't even live there, where he got no place to go when he's gonna be homeless. Like how hard to do that? Now 18 is different.
Did you ever think though, if you had been sent back in 2008, ironically you would be probably a lot better off than you are now?
Definitely. I don't think it's a question about it. Would I rather be down there than here? Definitely.
Do you think you would have been better off, in other words, if they had taken a really hard line and sent you back to El Salvador in 2008?
Do I think that? I didn't like I was telling you, like I don't feel like I committed this crime. I didn't kill anyone, so I don't. That's not in my head. Like I just think that the jury simply make their own decision and they gotta live with it. And so I'm not really mad at them because like at the end of the day, they only saw what the judge let they come into the case. Like they didn't really saw the whole case itself. So I think they were influenced by that because they didn't see the whole full picture, right? So, but I think if I were to have a fair, at least a fair trial, I wouldn't be here.
And have you heard from? Are you concerned? Have you heard from other maybe people in this country that are here illegally that are angry at you because they feel like you've kind of damaged the whole name of the sanctuary city?
Yeah. Like, what's the other question?
I mean, have you heard from? Are you concerned that some? I've heard from people that are here illegally that feel kind of angry at you because they feel like you've kind of damaged the name of sanctuary cities, and that it's going to be more and more difficult for other cities to enact a sanctuary city policy because of your case.
Yeah. So you're telling me how I feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, have you heard from people that they're saying, "Hey, you screwed this up for us"?
No. Nobody ever wrote to me. It said that to me, so no.
Okay.
But I feel bad, like, because I felt, well, my first lawyer said that from the get-go since 2008. By the way, he's not illegal alien, but he's my lawyer. I guess he didn't want to, disclose my personal information. So then I think, my lawyers have known that, and I think a lot of them have said that on open court. But it seems like nobody was paying attention, like nobody listened, like everybody was believing. Like I said, a person do one thing and then all dummies fell behind. So it's just crazy. To me, it seems crazy. Like, really, that's really what's happening. Like, yeah.
And you talked about meeting new people. I mean, people that are writing to you as a result of this case.
Mm-hmm. Well, no. So what kind of
Are these like women that are kind of that see your picture and kind of.
You're embarrassed.
Oh, what kinds of things? What kinds of things are people writing to you about?
No, like I have like 2 friends. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add? Things I didn't bring up that you want people to know about you or the case or the future?
I don't know. Like I told you, your world, I just live on it.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much for taking the time to talk with me.
Thank you.
I guess that's it.
Okay.
More for the others and whatnot. So how do you think? How have you been treated here in jail?
Oh, I would love to show you some of the grievance. Grievance. They called me a beaner. They called me a wetback. All of that. And then they put me on the safety cell before years because I got into it with the deputies. Like when they found me guilty of the first charge of the gang, because the gang, they were only deliberating for a few they were only deliberating for some time. Like they were saying deliberating for that long, right? So after they found me guilty on that, they went and throw me on the cuckoo land. Like they put me butt naked in the room on suicide watch for no reason. I have never said I want to hurt myself. I never said I want to hurt anyone else. Like none of that. And they put you in this place where you can only get one visit. You only get 15-minute calls a day, like 15-minute calls on a day during the daytime, in the morning. Like, I don't know, they just be messing with me the whole time.
But you haven't really had much contact with other inmates here because they're keeping you pretty
Isolated.
Okay.
That's gonna be on your website?
Yeah, what I'll do.